paulchannel.com. All right, a few more minutes with Dr. Ron Paul on if he would have been elected president years ago, what course changes he would have made versus what's happening now. Basically, what would he do if he was President Trump? Dr. Paul?
Today you don't have a whole lot you can do, but you could use the veto pen and make everything that they want passed, use a 2/3 vote, because you should veto all these spending bills until people wake up. And you should bring the troops home. We should give up on this foreign policy. And the president has a lot to say about foreign policy. And he doesn't have to send the troops around the world. There are no declared wars. Why should he be fighting wars? There's no reason for it. So I'd start bringing the troops home, saving a lot of money. We've spent $5 trillion on the Middle East since this century started. And the wars continue, they're ongoing, and they have to end. And in this atmosphere, when you have a constant war on terrorism, it means that you can justify violations of our civil liberties at home. And that's what's happened ever since. And Alex said, when we first met, I think we were dealing with the Patriot Act. As soon as you have a crisis, they passed the things that they had been planning on. They had planned on the Middle Eastern wars, and they had the Patriot Act in order. So when we have the crisis, then they come in and they use them. But I think what we need to do is cut the spending, bring the troops home, curtail the power of the Fed. We should get rid of the Fed. But in the meantime, I would tell the Congress, look, we're going to find out what these guys are doing. They are terrified. Republicans and Democrats are terrified that we would ever get hold of the books on the Federal Reserve and find out who's really making the big bucks. Then a lot of people ask me, I guess they ask you, who actually is the deep state? Well, we would find out. If you find out what's in the Fed, the deep state will be there. And it won't be one group of people, 5 people who run the world. There's going to be a lot of different people. They'll be in banking, and they're going to be in foreign policy and military-industrial complex. So you got to get to the Fed. And besides, the Fed is the economic planner. They plan. They think they know what interest rate should be. They don't know what interest rate should be. They think they know what we do with deficit. We print money for it. That all has to stop. A president could do it, but quite frankly, that president wouldn't be in office for very long. It would be such a challenge to the establishment that what they would probably do, there'd probably be an impeachment, and it would be bipartisan. They could impeach an individual like I'm talking about, because it would be such a challenge. And the other thing is if you're dealing with drug addiction, which you tell people, stop your drinking, stop your drugs, there is a side effect from that, and it's very difficult. So that is what they want to avoid. So if you want to live within your means and live off the drugs, there's going to be some people that are uncomfortable. That's why it's not going to happen. It's going to continue until the whole thing comes down on our head. That's why I emphasize the philosophy of economics, the philosophy of foreign policy, why liberties are important, so that we can have bipartisan support for something good, and that is the protection of liberty. And
well, I totally agree with you. And in closing, Dr. Paul, I mean, we've just seen the spectacle